Welcome to Gorilla Sports Off Court, a post-game live reaction show following a Nuggets dub against the number one seed in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. So head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another Gorilla Sports Off Court, a post-game live reaction show. I am your host for tonight, Liv Moods, with a lot of excitement in my voice and a very large smile on my face because the Denver Nuggets found a way to get it done despite being without Julian Strother and Aaron Gordon. I was a little worried going into this one because of what we saw yesterday against this same Oklahoma City Thunder team. Jokic fell on his elbow. He was a little banged up. We had 7 minutes of playing time from Aaron Gordon before he was out with an injury. So knew for a fact, I was pretty certain, I shouldn't say I knew for a fact, but I was pretty certain we weren't going to see Aaron Gordon while I was watching yesterday's game. I was like, I don't think we're going to get him tomorrow. Was a little uncertain about Nikola Jokic. You know, I think this Nuggets team is kind of in that in-between right now of fighting for a good seed in the Western Conference and wanting to continue to win games, but also wanting to keep their bodies healthy. And you cannot win playoff games without Nikola Jokic. There's a lot of other players you may be able to win without. Nikola Jokic is not one of them. I want to take a second and say hello to the chat. I'm going to put some of the comments up on the screen, so make sure you guys are retweeting this on X and letting everybody know that we are live so they can come hang with us and get a little recognition as well. Here we go. If we beat the Wolves this Wednesday, then I'm back on our chip train. Listen, here's the thing about this Denver Nuggets team. It is ebbs and it is flows. It is ups, it is downs, and it is really hard to gauge where I feel on any given day about this Nuggets team. I have stood pretty firm in the belief that this is a contending team. I actually talked today on the off-court show that it's very frustrating when this team, it feels like they're kind of picking and choosing who shows up and who has a really great game. I want them all to show up at once. And I believe if they can do that, this is a team that's hard to beat. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the fire hot Cavs or the Celtics that are the reigning champs, the current champs. I don't care if you're OKC. When this team chooses to show up, all of them in their own way, I don't need MPJ lighting it up from the three-point line every single night, but make an impact in any which way that you can make an impact, make one. When they all choose to play tough and hungry with that championship mentality, there's nothing like this Denver Nuggets team, and that's why it can feel so frustrating at times to watch them. Tonight was a great example of this team can win a championship. They can. I truly believe that. And I've also stressed many times on this very post-game live show, not this very one, but the many that we have done this season, which, by the way, I want to send my deepest gratitude to everybody that tunes in to these shows. This season has gone by really fast, and we still have some season left. And then, of course, hopefully we will continue to watch this Nuggets team in the playoffs. But I really do genuinely appreciate your guys' love and support more than you know. Very in like a weird little sappy way. I'm not going to get sappy, of course, but I'll just shed some light on a little funny situation here because you guys are like my sounding board in my little therapy session. I recently was engaged. I got engaged on Friday, and I announced it on my stories the night that it happened, but I recently posted my engagement pictures, and pretty crazy to watch my following drop on Instagram. And I don't really care about followers. I do this because I love it and it's my job and it makes me happy and it fills my cup. But freaking hilarious. If I told you guys, like, I can't see who unfollows me. I don't have one of those tracking apps, but I'm just watching the number tick down. And I'm talking like over 300 people have unfollowed me since I have announced that I am engaged. And I just find it funny because I don't know if these people thought they had a chance. I don't know if these people thought that one day they would end up with me. I hope you're not here for that reason. I hope you're here because you enjoy having conversations with me about the Denver Nuggets and about sports, because that's what this is all about. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate and love every single one of you that chooses to hang with me after Nuggets games and spends time with me and goes back and forth with me. It really does mean more than you know. I value my work so much, and I love this team. So I love talking about this team, especially with you guys. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just really, really appreciate you guys for being here. But over the course of being here for these shows, we've talked about a lot of things. And recently on one of these post-game live shows, I talked about Aaron Gordon being out. We've seen him in, we've seen him out, and honest to goodness, I'm getting to the point where rest him. Rest him. Don't play him. Do not play him unless you absolutely have to. And I don't think you have to right now. I think you're getting valuable minutes out of Zeke Naji and very valuable minutes tonight from Jalen Pickett. Peyton Watson defensively was amazing. He was brilliant. He was clutch. He was timely. We're seeing him knock down threes. We're seeing Pickett knock down threes. We know what Zeke Naji can be defensively and offensively when he needs to be. So in my opinion, rest Aaron Gordon as long as you can. We saw him on Friday against the Suns, 7 of 10 from the three-point line. We know he's got it. As of now, he's providing both 3 and D, which I never thought in a million years I would say that about Aaron Gordon, but he is that guy for this team, and he can be that guy for this team. And he has proven time and time again to be an X factor for the Denver Nuggets in a playoff stretch. So keep his body healthy, rest him. We don't need him right now. I say that to say, of course we need him, but right now when it doesn't matter as much, rest him and take care of his body, because it does seem like this Nuggets team, when they know they're without a solid star player on this team, they all rally, they all play tougher and harder, and they figure it out. And we saw that on full display. They weren't anticipating Aaron Gordon not being available in that game yesterday. That happened after 7 minutes, and then they had to just rally and figure it out. This team seems to do a whole lot better when they know I'm going to have an opportunity to get valuable minutes. I'm going to matter in this game because he's out. I want them to all feel like they matter all the time, but this is a team that really thrives when they're confident. And when they're confident, it's because they're getting valuable minutes and they're making an impact. And when they know an Aaron Gordon is not playing, they feel important. They know that this team needs them, so they rise to the occasion. It's that next man up mentality, and they do it very, very well. I will also add this Nuggets team is excellent on the tail end of back-to-backs. They really are. So I don't know if it's you kind of, yesterday they got a little humbled. I don't know if they play better when they're tired and they're just feeding off of momentum. Whatever it is, I'll take it. I loved what we saw from them tonight. I want to say thank you to this. Congratulations for all the things. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You may follow me on Instagram and have seen the engagement post. So I really, really appreciate you. But let's get back into all things Denver Nuggets talk. Enough about me and my excitement in life. There's so many little comments here, so I want to make sure those who unfollowed, you are, you know what, no lifers. They really are. It is so funny because I'm like, did you think you had a chance? Do you feel betrayed in this moment? I actually would assume that a lot of men out there would gain, and I say men because most of them are probably men that are unfollowing me, and that's what most of my following contains is men. I would like to think it's more respectable that I'm in a happy, healthy relationship and I'm not outside moving sneaky and weird. I prioritize my work. I get you guys the content that I hope you enjoy. I'm a homebody. I'm a family girl. I'm pretty I don't break the rules very often. I keep it very classy and respectful. So I would assume people would like that more, but apparently they don't, which is fine. At that point, in my opinion, it's the trash taking itself out. If you don't want to follow me for that reason and that reason alone, then good riddance. It's been nice knowing you. I'm here to listen to your takes and call you out. I'm good with that. I'm always good with being held accountable. Always, always, always. Because, while I do have takes that age very, very well, I also have takes that do not. I am pretty confident going into this season about my takes because of how excited I was about Russell Westbrook, and we know what he has done for this team. I think even when he's not making an impact with a stat line necessarily, every time he's on the floor, he's making an impact. And yes, sometimes it's more negative than positive if he's turning the ball over. But for the most part, we know what he brings to the table and we know how great he can be. Let's see. I want to see some more. Thank you guys for all the congratulations. I'm seeing you in the comment section. I so appreciate it. I don't care about my Instagram following enough to like lose sleep over this. I really don't. I just find it very interesting, if you will. But I do not care enough to be upset about this. I am so happy in my life. I'm in the most healthy and supportive relationship I have ever been in. I'm not going to get emotional talking about it, but I feel very, very blessed for the life that I live. And so much of that has to do with my work, and you guys are a part of that. So I really, really appreciate you. The Nuggets figured it out today, you guys. I just got to say, yeah, you guys know I've been very hard on Jamal Murray. I don't apologize for being hard on Jamal Murray, and I don't take back being hard on Jamal Murray. But what I can do in this moment is say, welcome back, Jamal. Just in the nick of time, here you are. And we've actually seen him progressively getting there. But this, as of late, this Jamal Murray that gets that look in his eyes and you can feel the energy through the television screen where it's like, he's about to turn it up. He's about to turn it up. He's about to fire it up. He's about to light it up. And I am so excited to see this version of him because despite how magnificent Nikola Jokic is one of one. He is historic. He is unbelievably good at basketball. But in so many ways, Jamal Murray is actually more important. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, Liv, if you took Jokic out of a game, it's very different than if you take Jamal Murray out of a game. You're correct. But I pretty much just rely on the fact that Jokic will be there and he's pretty consistent no matter what. Unless the Lakers are double, triple teaming him and he can't find a way out of it. For the most part, Nikola Jokic is wildly consistent. But what gives the Nuggets that edge, because Jokic cannot do it alone, is Jamal Murray. He, to me, in so many ways, is actually more important if you're looking at this team through the lens of being contenders. Jamal Murray, to me, is more important in getting them there because Jokic can only do so much on his own. When we get a Jamal Murray that shows up the way he showed up tonight, it is really hard to beat this Nuggets team. It just is. It is really hard to take down this Denver Nuggets team with a red hot blue arrow Jamal Murray. It is really tough. So in so many ways, I'm hardest on Jamal because I know just how valuable he is to the success of this team. I'm not talking success as in beating the Detroit Pistons, which let me not even use them as an example anymore because they're pretty good. The Wizards, the Jazz. I'm not saying that he's important in those ways in terms of beating those teams in the regular season. I'm talking this team cannot and will not win a championship without Jamal Murray activated and present. It just won't happen. I don't care how hot Nikola Jokic is. I don't care what Aaron Gordon's doing. I don't care what MPJ's doing. You have to have Jamal all the way dialed in. And we're starting to get that version of him. And I absolutely could not be more thrilled. I want to talk about a few things to me that really stood out in this one as opposed to yesterday. One, the three-point shooting in the second half of this game, I really loved. And if you want to compare the three-point shooting altogether, the Nuggets had a better three-point percentage in terms of making, but they didn't actually take as many shots. OKC, 47 three-point shots attempted. The Denver Nuggets, 32. But we were 18 of 32 from the three-point line, and that matters. When this Nuggets team can find points in the paint as easily as they can, and then they can still be hitting their threes, it really does make them feel unstoppable. They were 60% from the field today, 52 of 86. Very, very impressive. One thing I was way more impressed with in this game as opposed to yesterday's game was making those free points that we like to call free throws, okay? The Nuggets got to the line in yesterday's game and just couldn't seem to make those free throws count for anything, and that was wildly frustrating. So very, very impressed with what they were able to do in terms of bouncing back from the free throw line. I thought that was awesome. They out rebounded this OKC team. I would love to see more offensive rebounds from the Nuggets. Just give yourself that second opportunity. It feels like because they know defense is not their strong suit, they're already hustling down the court to play defense, which I can't even really be mad at because I've actually felt like they didn't do enough of that at the beginning of this season. But would love to see a little more follow through, follow your shot, get some of those offensive rebounds. When you've got guys like MPJ and Nikola Jokic with their size, and then of course you add AG back into the mix with his strength, offensive rebounds, we should be doing a little bit better in that department. I would love to see a little more of that. One of the things that I think they could have still been better at today, of course, is the turnovers. I believe yesterday they only had 7, and today they had 12. 12 to me is still too many, but I do feel like we've had games where we've seen way more turnovers than that. I still want to see them tighten that up a little bit. And again, I have to give some credit where it's due to the defense that was played in this one. You could tell it was a more of a priority, and it has to be when you are playing an OKC team. They are so stinking good. I literally kept sitting on the couch going, they just don't miss. OKC just does not miss. It feels like every shot that they take, they are making. So you have to have a defensive answer for guys like Jalen Williams, SGA. You really have to make that a priority, and it felt like they did today. Here we go. Let me go ahead and look at these. How do you think we'll do versus OKC in 7 games, Liv? I don't think it's going to be the clean sweep from OKC that a lot of people think. I really, really don't. I think if you've been watching Denver Nuggets basketball for some time, you understand that I think what we're seeing with them a lot of the time against these weaker and less intimidating teams is them pacing themselves. Because if you watch them last season, you know as well as I do that their biggest problem was their exhaustion. They were just playing so lackadaisical, so lethargic, so checked out. And so I think they know that the high IQ of this team and the skill set of this team, when they all choose to just put their foot on the gas, they really are a tough team to beat, and they can compete with just about anybody. So I think this Nuggets team is not prioritizing a ton the seeding that they have in the Western Conference, but really just prioritizing keeping bodies healthy, getting to the playoffs, and then knowing once they're in the playoffs, they can compete with anybody. And I feel that way about OKC. I think this Nuggets team can compete just fine with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. We've seen it now, not once, but twice this season. Let's not forget, with Jamal Murray out, we actually beat OKC earlier this season. I believe it's evenly matched now. Correct me if I'm wrong. OKC has won 2. We have won 2 this season. So that'll tell you right then and there. And that's without a fully healthy Nuggets roster. Let's remember that, okay? You didn't have Aaron Gordon in full health yesterday, or Nikola Jokic for that matter. In the first game of the season against the first game that the Nuggets won against OKC was without Jamal Murray. Okay, so these are the things you have to think about when you're looking at this matchup between these two teams. Is the Nuggets really haven't been in full health and full strength much this season. That is not an excuse for the games they have lost. Trust and believe. As a born and raised Denver Nuggets fan, and for those that have tuned into my show many, many times, they know I do nothing but keep it real on this program. Okay. We only keep it real around here. And the realness is, it is not an excuse that you have injured players. You got to step up and figure it out. You have to have that next man up mentality. And if you don't have that, you're not a contender, right? You have to just figure it out. That being said, when you've got a Jamal Murray that's playing the way that he is, when you've got Nikola Jokic on the floor, you are good to compete against any team in this league. Jamal Murray tonight, 34, 4, and 6. He was 3 of 7 from the 3-point line, 2 steals by him, 0 turnovers for Jamal. That made a huge difference. Nikola Jokic, 35, 18, 8. He had 1 steal, 1 block, and only 1 turnover. That is also very impressive. Now, our bench, to me, also made a much bigger impact in this game than they did in the last game. We had 16 from Westbrook. Actually, he started tonight. I'm so sorry. You had 16 from Peyton Watson. You had 8 from Jalen Pickett. You had 0 from Najee, but he played only 11 minutes. And he did have 3 turnovers. So he kind of contributed to those turnovers a little bit. But Jalen Pickett, only 2 turnovers in this one, 2 of 3 from 3. He brought 8 points from the bench. You had 16 from Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson, let's give it up for Peyton freaking Watson. I mean, he was out with injury. you really, to me, Peyton Watson is the type of player that you just want to see out there. Get him valuable minutes because it will make a difference for him. It will matter. I think the more confident ball that Peyton Watson plays, the better that he is. I think the ceiling is very high for a guy like Peyton Watson. He gave you 16 points today. He was a perfect 4 of 4 from the 3-point line. And in addition to that, he had 2 very clutch blocks. There was one moment that I remember seeing. He had 2 turnovers total, but there was one moment that I remember seeing. He turned the ball over. Then you had Jamal Murray showing up and showing that hustle and showing effort. If you guys have been here with me on these post-game lives, you know effort is a word I've used many times with Jamal Murray, alluding to the fact that he doesn't have the effort there. And it was very frustrating. He's starting to have that. He hustled back after the turnover, got a block. They got the ball back. That's the type of ball you want to see this Nuggets team play. You really want to see them play their game. Don't try to be like everybody else, okay? Play your game. The points in the paint, CB in transition, that's your game. And then when you've got a Peyton Watson who comes off the bench, 4 of 4 from the 3-point line, you've got a Jalen Pickett who's 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Now, missing Julian Strawther will actually hurt this bench and the production that they have offensively. We know this to be true. But when you've got guys like Peyton Watson stepping up, it really doesn't matter. Super happy with what we saw from him. Russell Westbrook tonight, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, a very complete stat line. He was 3 of 5 from the 3-point line. So overall, you were seeing really great 3-point shooting for a Nuggets team that really primarily scores in the paint. That's their magic potion. That's their game. And still you saw them really lighting it up from the 3-point line. MPJ, a slower game than yesterday, but it's fine. We'll take it. 17, 6, and 2. He was 3 of 6. I'm very pleased with 50% from the 3-point line. I will take it. Only 1 turnover for him, 1 steal as well. That was a very clutch steal. I remember it very vividly. I'm just happy. I'm happy with the effort that is being shown with this Nuggets team right now. Here's what I will tell you. When Russ does less, but also does more. Now, this is going to be a little confusing. You're going to be like, Liv, what are you talking about? I need Russ to do more in the sense of facilitating. Make Jamal Murray's life a little easier, but don't do more in terms of forcing shots that aren't comfortable for you, forcing passes that don't feel like they're ready for. This is when we see turnovers from him. This is when we see him not doing well from the 3-point line. It's a very interesting balance with Russell Westbrook because you want him to do more, but you want him to do less. You want him to do more in the sense of make Jamal's life easier. Him and Jokic have a chemistry right now that I am very pleased with. Keep doing what you guys are doing. We've seen it. It was a very early chemistry that worked and clicked very well, very fast. I'm good with that. However, when it comes to Jamal Murray, you want to see Russell Westbrook just create offensive opportunities for Jamal so that all he has to worry about is shooting his shot and hustling back and playing defense. When Jamal has to do a little too much, that's when we start seeing the ball get turned over more. That's when we start to see like a little bit of a competition between Russ and Jamal, who can do more, and ultimately it ends up just being bad all around for the Denver Nuggets. So I really like the role that Russ plays when he is facilitating and kind of creating scoring opportunities, but also just finding open shots and taking them with confidence and conviction, and also having that defensive awareness that I do think he brings to the table, which we know the defense for the Denver Nuggets is something that they've, 1, struggled with, and 2, I think fans have felt a little concerned about. So to see Russell Westbrook in his role and kind of understanding what that looks like feels really good. He was looking that way before he got injured. Then he got injured, and those few games after his injury, it felt like he was kind of all over the place. But I do feel like he's understanding his role and his impact and just channeling into that. And it's really just making this Denver Nuggets team that much better and more successful. Let's see here. I want to get to some of these comments here. Yes, Jalen Pickett and Watson helped start 4th run. Yes, they absolutely did. I was actually texting. You guys know I'm good friends with Peyton Watson's uncle, love and adore him. He and his wife are some of my favorite people. But I was texting them just the whole time, like, peace, Watt. There he is. There he is. I'm so glad to have him back, because Peyton Watson is one of those players that you just do feel his energy. And I do believe he plays really tough and really hard every single game that he gets to play those valuable minutes. And it was really great to see him not only lining it up from the 3-point line, but also being clutch defensively for this Denver Nuggets team. So again, this just felt like a team win. This felt like a team win. And I want to see more of these. I want to see that collaboration. It's not me, I, but it's, how do we figure out how to win this game? We saw that against the Suns, and I know that game should not have ever been as close as it was. It should not have gone into overtime. I get all that. But when you see this Nuggets team play the game that they know how to play, and they really put their heads down and they get and stay focused and they play together, it really is magic. And what I mean by play together is not just, can you work together as a team, but do you all show up the same for every game? I think we have games where MPJ pops off, but then we get a little bit of less effort from Jamal. And then we've got games where Russell Westbrook is really popping off. And I shouldn't really use Russell Westbrook as an example, because it does feel like he shows up every single game. But maybe the defensive effort is not always there for Nikola Jokic. So you've got Russ that's trying to do more. And when he does more, it's a little more chaotic and it doesn't really work for this team. So it really is a matter of these Denver Nuggets players all choosing to show up on the same night for the game that is sitting in front of them. And when they do that, it is really tough to beat this team. It just is. So I am thrilled. I am excited. I feel like I'm not there yet with my trust with this team. I'm not fully on board with, like, this is a contending team, they're going to win a championship. But I do believe that they can win a championship. And I do think, we talked about it on Off Court today, that is why this team, despite some of the losses that they've faced in some of the games where you're just like, what is going on with this team? They're still highly favored to a lot of people, whether it's media heads or sports books or rankings or whatever it may be. They're still highly favored, because I think everybody knows across this league, if this Nuggets team choose to show up, if they all choose to show up at once, it is scary hours for any team they will play. Oklahoma City right now is the number 1 seed by a lot. And the Nuggets played them just fine tonight and found a way to win. They can compete with anybody. So when they choose to show up, it's scary. It is. It just is. So that's why they're still so highly favored, despite some of their losses they've had this season and some of those WTF moments. Trust me, I've had my fair share of WTF moments when it comes to this team. Trust and believe. I have had plenty of WTF moments where I'm like, what are we doing, Nuggets? What are we doing here? So I get it. I'm with you on that, but it does feel like they're starting to lock in and set their sights on the playoffs, because it really is only a matter of time before we are there. And it is time for them to be playing tough and hard every single night. So not that they shouldn't be already, but you know what I mean. Okay. Let's get a couple more comments in here. We'll sit and chat for a few more minutes, and then we'll get out of here, and I'll let you guys enjoy your night. We will have post-game live reaction shows all week long. We'll have one on Wednesday. I believe that's the Timberwolves game. And then Friday, the Lakers without LeBron James. It'll be interesting to see how the Nuggets can compete against the Lakers without LeBron. This is a win to build on for the rest of the season and into the playoffs. I agree, Jay. Great point. Michael Malone had the right starting lineup tonight. Yes. I talked about this with BK the other day on our show, and I basically alluded to the fact that I think you rest Aaron Gordon as long as humanly possible for the remainder of the season, because it is very clear this calf injury is exceptionally nagging. It is lingering. It is not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay. So you rest Aaron Gordon as much as you possibly can and still get by, right? And you've got guys in that second unit that have proven themselves. Peyton Watson, Jalen Pickett, Zeke Naji. They have proven themselves, okay? So you can afford to rest Aaron Gordon, and I think you should, Coach Malone, because he's very clearly not ready to play full minutes in a basketball game just yet. And that's fine. You want him when you need him, which is the playoffs. So rest him until you need him, right? That's how I see it. But also, on top of that, even when he is in full strength, even when he is healthy, let's say you choose to rest Aaron Gordon for the remainder of the season, which I think is a good idea. I'm not saying that he doesn't play at all the rest of the season, but you're very strategic about when and how you use Aaron Gordon for the remainder of the regular season because of that lingering injury. And you know you're going to need him in the playoffs. So be very strategic about Aaron Gordon until the playoffs are here. Even with the playoffs here and he's back and he's healthy, I don't think it's a bad idea to have Aaron Gordon coming off of the bench and running your second unit. Why? Because for the next month and a half, you need to build continuity in a starting five. Our starting five has looked different every single week, it feels like. So build some continuity in a starting five that just beat the number one seed in the Western Conference in OKC. Build some continuity here, and then have Aaron Gordon in full health and full strength in the playoffs and have him coming off the bench and helping run that second unit. I don't think that's a bad idea. I really don't. I think you preserve his body as long as humanly possible in the regular season. And then I think you preserve his body even in the playoffs and have him bring some of that firepower, some of that 3-and-D. I'm able to say that now because he has been lighting it up from the three-point line. You have that energy contagious throughout your second unit as we advance in the playoffs. I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, I understand Aaron Gordon. There is some defensive upside that he brings to the table. There is no doubt about that. But when you've got a Zeke Naji, who, while Aaron Gordon has been out, has proven to be one of, if not your best defensive player, don't force Aaron Gordon to work in the starting lineup right now. His body can't handle it, number one. And number two, it might be good and he could be more beneficial running that second unit. And we know how much a bench matters. The bench today helped them beat OKC, and the bench yesterday helped them lose to OKC. Okay, benches matter and depth matters. And to have Aaron Gordon at the head of your second unit running that bench, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just something to think about. So listen, let AG rest, let his body get right. And even when he is healthy and in full strength and the playoffs are near, don't rush in putting him back in the starting lineup. Because right now, more than anything, this Nuggets team needs to build some continuity in their starting five because it's looked different every single week. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I could not be more thrilled with what the Denver Nuggets gave us tonight against the number one seed in the Western Conference. We are definitely on the right track. They just need to use this win and continue to build off of it. And if they can do that, woo, I am feeling real good about this Denver Nuggets team. So don't want to hold my breath on it. You know, we've seen lots of highs and lots of lows with this Denver Nuggets team. So I'm not going to let myself get overly excited here, but I will say what we saw from this team tonight is Denver Nuggets basketball. Okay. It's why Nuggets fans feel like their head is spinning on top of their shoulders on any given night, because we know that they can play at this high of a level all the time. It's just a matter of them choosing to show up all the time. Okay. Last thing from KT here. Liv, I don't know if you had a chance to talk about this, but did you see Charles Barkley rant about today's NBA coverage and calling out Kendrick Perkins last Thursday? If so, do you agree? I don't think I did get to see that, actually. I don't think I did, but I will do some research and we will talk about that Thursday on Thursday's episode of Off Court, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I will be in studio live and we will go ahead and discuss some of these hot topics across the NBA then. I promise. I promise. Okay. Just want to send you guys my love. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for all the congratulations. I'm not sure what's going on with the weirdos on Instagram that have very rapidly hit the unfollow button when they realized I was engaged. I don't know if these people thought that they had a chance and now they feel betrayed by me. But I always thought it was a little bit more respectable to be a homebody that values her career and is not outside and is, you know, in a very healthy and happy relationship. I'm a classy, respectful woman. I've been telling you guys that for a long time. Some of you don't want to believe it. You think I'm outside moving weird. I promise you I'm not. I have been in a very private relationship for some time now, where we bought a beautiful home, and I have been continuing to give you guys the same content and living my life and loving my life. And I truly, truly appreciate those of you that have tuned into all of my stuff, but also supported me along the way. I promise you, my free time these days is not spent out at the bars or going to parties. It is making pot roast and finding new recipes I like and cleaning my house and just enjoying watching the Denver Nuggets and getting to talk with you guys about it afterwards. So greatly appreciate you guys so much for the support and the love, and thank you for hanging with me on another Guerrilla Sports Off Court, a post-game live reaction to the Denver Nuggets getting it done against OKC. I was really hoping this would be a split. I did not think this Nuggets team was going to win both, but I was hoping it would be a split. We know that they do so well on the tail end of back-to-back, so I was so excited to see them tonight really showing up and playing tough ball against one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So I'm feeling thrilled. I'm feeling pleased. I love you guys tons. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me in all my endeavors, as well as supporting Guerrilla Sports. Make sure you follow us on all things socials, as well as subscribe to our YouTube. And this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. If you want to save some money, who doesn't? Head to trustedamerican.com. They are here to help you save some money by getting you a better interest rate, lowering your monthly payment. Shout out to our friends over at Trusted American. Go check them out and see how they can help you out today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Much love to you all, and we will catch you guys Wednesday night for a post-game live reaction show following the Nuggets taking on the Timberwolves. Another doozy. They've got a very tough week this week. But if they can build off of this game, I've got faith in them on Wednesday night. So thank you guys. We'll see you Wednesday. Much love and go Nuggets.